This dish is kind of an in-between a summer grilled lamb chop and that fall flavor. We're going to bring in some mashed sweet potatoes with some aged cheddar cheese just to go on the base. We're marinating our lamb, then we're going to pan sear it inside, but you can easily grill it outside. And we're making a blueberry balsamic reduction that's just going to go with that, with those fresh Florida blueberries that are in season. So stay with me. I'll be back in just a few minutes to get the lamb chops going. Well, we're ready to marinate the lamb. So what I did was I bought the pork chops already cut, make it a little bit easier over at the fresh market. Often if rack of lamb goes on sale, that's when I'll buy 2 packs and put it in the freezer. Now, an easy way to save if you don't have a lot of potted herbs at home is you can just get like a Mediterranean herb oil, and that's going to give you plenty of seasoning. So we're going to put in about a half a cup of that, and then we're going to take some aged balsamic vinegar, and we're going to do just about 6 tablespoons tops. Then I have my lamb chops that I'm going to do. Usually I do about 3 to 4 lamb chops per person depending on the size. If it's my husband's involved, it's definitely going to be 4. So then we're going to take a sprig of fresh rosemary and some thyme. And we're going to stick that in there. And then I've roasted some garlic. And let me show you how I do it. It's so easy, and you'll want to keep some roasted garlic in your house. Basically, you just cut off the top. Then you can put it in a pan. You want to use a lower temperature so it doesn't burn too much, but all you're going to do is put some oil on that, and that pan's going to go right in the oven. About 200 degrees, 250, until it's completely roasted, unless you have the clay garlic roaster, and that will be fine. So basically we're going to mix this together. Now I'm going to take some of this garlic that I roasted, and you're going to see that the cloves just pop out as I squeeze. See that? So that's giving that enhanced flavor. I'm just going to take that little tip off that was a little bit too dark. But oh my gosh, this is so good, and this is fantastic just to serve with some crusty bread and that roasted garlic. And I first got addicted to this over at Ophelia's on the Bay about 25 years ago when we used to go on vacation. So seal that puppy up, and it's going in the refrigerator. Mix it up, turn it once or twice while it's in the refrigerator, and then it's ready to come out, but you're going to have to pat it with paper towels. One thing I want you to remember is that balsamic has a lot of sugar in it. So that sugar is going to come up in the pan. So if we don't pat this out, it's going to make the grill flame up, or the pan is going to get too sticky and we won't get the right amount of grill. So we're pulling out that garlic and that rosemary. There we go. Once I pat that dry, it's going in the pan, so stay with me. I'm going to show you how to make the blueberry sauce, and we'll grill up these babies. It's going to be so delicious. So the marinated balsamic roasted garlic lamb chops with the rosemary are done. Simple sear in the pan, doesn't even need to go in the oven, but that is just ready to go. Let's talk about the blueberries. I added a pint of blueberries to the pot and about 3 tablespoons of water. Just give it a chance to start to mash the blueberries before you decide how much. And I have a little balsamic glaze. It's about 2 tablespoons of that. Now, to balance it out so it's not too sweet, let's get over here and use some of this rosemary salt that I love from the St. Armand Spice and Tea Exchange. It's definitely something you want to have in your pantry. Let's let that simmer down more. We're going to add a little bit of fresh thyme off the stem, and that will reduce. Now, since what happens with the roasted garlic is as you cut the head off, they'll have little bit of tips, so I don't want that to go to waste. So I have some shiitake mushrooms, and I'm going to give them a real quick saute, a little salt and pepper, and then I'm going to add some fresh baby spinach. So that just adds a little color on the plate, more texture, and that will be ready. And let me show you the mashed sweet potatoes. I always say you have to roast the sweet potatoes instead of putting them in the microwave oven, or worse, boiling them, because when you roast them, it brings out the natural sugar. Quickly, it takes about 45 minutes, cut them in half. They fall right out of their jackets, right out of the skin. I mash them with salt and pepper and some aged cheddar cheese. Not a lot of cheese, but just enough, again, to give it a little a more savory texture, you know, feel to it, which is going to be perfect. Okay, so the mushrooms are just starting to get tender. That's going to be great. I'm going to push them to the side a little bit, just like I would do in a wok. And I don't need any more oil. I've already have about 2 tablespoons in there. So we'll just let the spinach is just going to wilt a little bit, a little more seasoning, pepper, and let's bring in some of that delicious rosemary salt again. And there we go. Now, the sauce just needs about 10 more minutes, and as it's reducing, I just mash the blueberries back with a fork. And you're going to want to save this sauce. Believe it or not, it tastes great on vanilla ice cream just to get that yin and yang on it. It's also a wonderful sauce for duck. So when I come back, we'll plate it up. We'll get ready to give the guys some lunch and get ready for the rain that we can just spend the day in the kitchen. And there you go, John.
I got the perfect bite right here.
There, I know you love lamb chops. So pan-seared lamb chops marinated in that balsamic and the different herbs and the olive oil. Hit it with some of that delicious rosemary salt. And then that's served with that blueberry reduction with a little balsamic in it. And a pop of cumin, I forgot to mention that, but just a little pinch will balance that whole sauce off with some thyme in it. If you're making duck or roast chicken this weekend, it's going to be really nice.
It'll stay for a week. It's got the sweetness of the blueberries and a little heat back behind it there.
Exactly. Remember, you can get this recipe in the video on mysuncoast.com. Click on dining and don't forget to enter our dining contest. Somebody every Wednesday will win a $50 gift card to an area restaurant if you sign up or you have been signed up for our weekly culinary newsletter.